What up, it's Amaje back here on another video, and we about to be reacting to the worst era to go out in. It's not even like a thing when they say just this generation is like cooked. I hate being part of this generation at times, but I don't claim it though. I claim the old generation. I'm the older half of Gen Z. It's like I always tell people. But yeah, this is you go out and you pass away in this era as a public figure, you're just cooked after your death, bro, because people will just literally sit there and make a joke out of it and type on their keyboard into comment sections, and it'll just be a thing. But hey, let's see what Tommy talking about.
Change compared to now. In the past, celebrities and public figures were looked at as remarkable figures who did less harm than the average type of person. Because people would think, well, if they were on a TV show or movie, then obviously a company wouldn't hire someone that did terrible, controversial things, and they had to be good. Unless you were like O.J. Simpson or R. Kelly, which clearly in 4K got caught doing evil shit. The public would think even with your flaws, you were probably still a mostly good person. And low-key, R. Kelly still had a prospering ass career after getting caught. They was selling the tape where he was engaging in acts with a minor. Still kind of weird how that's actually a big thing that happened in the 2000s. Like, where were the police at? But then he dropped trapped in a closet and people went, hold on. This storytelling kind of fire though. I'm sorry y'all, but I'm after about the whole set of this. It really was wild how many things public figures got away with before social media. And with celebrity and public figure deaths then, it was almost always treated like a tragedy and a majority of people would give their condolences. Like when MJ died, the whole world went silent for that week because it was so unbelievable that could happen. You ain't see no jokes or nothing. People was not playing about it. Same thing with Princess Diana. There was literally 2.5 billion people watching her funeral. It was one of the most watched events ever. And you can even take someone politically like Ronald Reagan, who's notoriously not a liked political figure to say the least. Was putting up LeBron numbers of racist laws and sending the black community back. Even Ronald Reagan's funeral had 100 million viewers watching, and no matter people's political party, a lot still gave condolences. Yeah, we know if this happened now with Gen Z, that would not be happening. For sure, that ain't gonna happen with Trump or Biden. Just prepare for a civil war on the internet for the whole year when their time comes. Now, in our times, the wait time to make fun of a public figure or celebrity's death has dropped to about 5 minutes after. And the most recent example of it, and you probably guessed it by now, is... Yay!
They're AI. Bro, these people are AI in this dead man's photo on rappers and other people. Like, oh my gosh. This is what I don't get about this internet in this generation. Like, these niggas is just wild, bro. Like, when bro got capped, like, I wasn't happy. I was one of those people that were just like, why are y'all happy about a man just getting, taken out, in front of his family? Oh no, in spite of what he did, in spite of like what he was preaching or whatever he was pushing, like y'all let opinions really go over and start making fun of a person's death just for that. People on people on TikTok, people on YouTube, people on Instagram. Oh my gosh, such clown ass activities. I I for one just can't be happy about somebody's passing away, like especially like that. I don't know. I at least have a heart. This is crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty much been all the viral posts for the past month with Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk got assassinated on September 10th, 2025. And the whole fallout on social media has been the strangest thing I think we've never seen. With politicians, we expect how things go, but we've never had it happen to a political commentator as big as Charlie Kirk. And one of the dumbest things that happened to me
Exactly. He's a political commentator. That's all he was. He wasn't out there making no rules. I see people online just like happy talking about, oh yeah, he did this, he did that, he was talking about this. Y'all are happy people. Y'all are happy about this because he was preaching and doing his First Amendment right. Like, it's free speech. Some free speech is just gonna be like a fucking just on the ground, and just people are gonna start stomping on that shit because, well, what is the fucking point?
Immediately after this was people trying to start a civil war. Like, can you imagine a civil war starting over a podcaster? Like, if Biden or Kamala hit Trump on stage in 4K with bullets and started cheering, at least then I'd understand it a bit more happening. You think people are gonna rip off their 9-to-5 business shirts, hop out the cubicle and go, you know what? You have now declared war on me and every patriot who watched Charlie Kirk's podcast 24/7. Even the people who liked him at most are gonna give their condolences, probably reply to some trolls on Twitter, and then move on. Imagine kids in 2060 looking at a history book and seeing 2 civil wars in America. One happening over slavery and people literally having no rights and being treated as property, and one happening over a podcaster getting assassinated by some teenager who liked femboys. You have the richest man in the world talking about the left is the party of murder. People like Andrew Tate tweeting civil war. Mind you, he doesn't even live in this country. Should be focusing on his daily news trafficking cases instead of our affairs. I mean,
That's
our own
crazy.
president was in.
That's fucking crazy, and it's crazy that he got like quick scope. All right. Let me stop. It's crazy, bro. Got like popped just by a dude that likes femboys. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But like, you could see why he was angry. You were angry to the point you were gonna assassinate people because of some words. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Citing this shit too. And look, I've already said this before, I'm not even someone celebrating him getting assassinated, and political violence only makes things worse. But this whole thing of trying to start a civil war was the cringiest shit I've ever seen. And I would go to actually say, by these prominent political figures and politicians trying to do things like this, it only makes.
Man, you got a point right there. I literally, I'm not into politics whatsoever. I hate getting into that. I hate getting into conversations with people about that bullshit. I was literally in conversations with that, getting into. I was about to get into an argument about that shit on Instagram when people were replying to me when I said like I'm not happy about his death, and people were, bro, I don't know if I think I had like 10 DMs from just like random people that I didn't even fucking know.
The president ordered the US flag to be flown at half-staff nationwide, which is usually meant for major national tragedies like mass shootings or literally 9/11, and high politicians such as presidents and whatnot dying. So when people see it being done to a podcaster, do you think all of a sudden they're gonna take it more serious? They're just gonna think it's stupid as and make fun of it even more. On top of that, the government also passed a National Day of Remembrance for Charlie Kirk. I can guarantee you, a bunch of the people who were at his memorial and ones dedicated to him aren't going to be popping out next year. They're just going to move on to the next political thing they can complain about. There was also a ton of bills introduced by politicians.
Yeah, that's true too. All people want to do is just latch on to things and trend hop, and just go with the next thing. Because when one person taken out, they go to another. And that's like one more thing I had an argument about. You're happy about one podcaster like dying. Wish I go be happy about everybody else dying and wanting them to die for their opinions. That's always my one little gripe.
Who wanted even more remembrance of Charlie Kirk. Like a bill in Oklahoma where it would require a Charlie Kirk memorial plaza at every public university. Yeah, that wouldn't last a day, I'm not gonna lie. There was also another bill introduced called the Charlie Kirk Commemorative Coin Act, which would require the Treasury to make coins in his honor. Bro, if your ass pulls out some change and I see you with the Charlie Kirk quarter, I'm smacking the out of you. It's crazy how performative all of this is, because I feel like none of these politicians even cared about him. They saw this as the perfect opportunity to distract from doing any actual work and to focus on this. I think the thing that really sealed it of people not caring and making fun of it was how the actual funeral went. Because oh boy, was this one of the weirdest televised memorial services to ever exist. I would say this was more of a political rally than a memorial. You had all of the Trump administration coming to it and giving pretty political speeches. this. Like, I don't know what to say. I think he deadass just saw this on his schedule as a MAGA rally and went in with that mentality. I was the wife of the man who got murdered, giving more empathy and bringing people together more than the president. Bruh, like, isn't your job supposed to be to bring people together? I thought we were supposed to be some sort of United States. Yeah, after this, any appearance of people feeling bad for the memes was probably gone. And Erica Kirk after seemed like she moved on pretty quickly. Or at least that's what people think, because clips of her hugging up on the president and vice president.
I see.
That is kind of wild. You was way too close. That doesn't even look like a distress hug because you know when you're at funerals, you know when you at others, you know people feeling bad. You don't hug like that. Ah, hey.
No one will ever replace my husband. No. But I do see some similarities of my husband in and Vice President J.D. Vance. I do.
Hey, you know what they say, if you don't let your mans hug your girl's waist, then is that really your friend? Me personally, I go up to all my homies' girls, lift them up, smack both cheeks separately. It's just a welcoming though, nothing else. And because of all this chaos, you now have people making memes and photoshopping his face on everything. Whether that be famous celebrities, your favorite rapper, really any image or video is not safe of getting Kirkified. It might end up being a
All right, all right. I'm sorry. I may be seeing glazing when I'm doing this. Don't disrespect Cardi like that. Don't disrespect Playboy Cardi like that. I swear. Yeah, y'all doing too much now.
as influential as the Rickroll, like just being the Rickroll of the 2020s. With Gen Z as a whole on things, it's just way more common for people to make fun of dead figures. But the amount that happens really depends on who it is and how like they are. Like I remember when Kobe died and people who tried to make jokes on the internet were getting doxxed and harassed because people don't play about Kobe and he was mostly uncontroversial to people. Other than 2003. Someone like Charlie Kirk, who was a controversial figure as a whole, got made fun of faster because of that reason. This type of making fun of also happens to people that Gen Z is less connected to way more. Like the Queen dying was not taken serious by any of Gen Z. And it's because no one really cared about the royal family and what it used to mean. Comparing how Princess Di-
I'm not gonna lie. The reason why nobody really cared about that because it's like it's another country. I mean, it still don't mean you gotta disrespect them, but it's the internet and it's just full of dumbass people.
one of the members who was literally buddy with Epstein of all people. And it can't be one of those things like, well, was it before he got arrested and the public knew? He visited his ass after Epstein already got charged and arrested for being with
Oh,
him.
hell
His excuse
nah.
was giving the same as my dog ate my homework.
Now, I went there with the sole purpose of saying to him that because he had been convicted, it was inappropriate for us to be seen together.
So do phones just not exist in 2010? From what I learned in school, I'm
Nigga, you know you fucking lying, my nigga. Bro, ain't no conversation even with like a whole friend. You don't even need to talk to that nigga no more, or need to explain yourself to that nigga, especially getting arrested for something like that big. Don't even cut that nigga out your life. You are just probably like a weirdo just like him.
He also got questioned on why he stayed at his house too after. Because as the prince in a royal family, it shouldn't be too hard to get the best hotel in New York or your own castle and not have to crash at the most prolific child trafficker's place to ever exist. And this was his excuse for it.
Staying at the house of
Yes.
a convicted offender.
It was a convenient place to stay.
Well, that about solves it. Thanks for your fairly believable
Lies.
excuse. Back to your royal duties you go. Apparently that didn't convince the king because he just recently got his royal title stripped and is getting kicked out of the palace. You also had Prince Harry completely dip on the family. And if the royal family had complaining for no
All right, hold up. I'm gonna have to stop it right here because my fucking PC's about to fucking die. I literally see it right here. It was just at 44% before I started recording, but I guess that's a power sucker. But hey, man, this video was pretty good. It tells you about this whole thing about how the internet is now and how somebody dies that's controversial, if not well, and not influential enough, they're gonna make fun of you. They're gonna make fun of people in their lying death, and that that's not something I'm gonna be a part of. I do not like making fun of the dead. No matter what type of religion you're into, something got to come back on you. But hey, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm gonna be back with another one.